In your mind, take a stroll down the hallways of Barrie Central. What do you remember? Where was your locker? What class did you love the most? How many hours did you spend at school after the bell rang and practice began?
Barrie Central has been an educational institution in the city of Barrie for 173 years.
It began in 1843 when Governor-General Sir Charles Metcalfe appointed trustees for a grammar school board in the district of Simcoe.
The first principal, Frederick T. Gore, was hired because of his qualifications and because of his unsparing application of the birch.
The first grammar school classes were held in the most easterly room of the ground floor of the courthouse. In 1849, a brick schoolhouse, funded through public subscription, was built on Blake Street. This building had accommodation for 45 students. In 1865, the first female students were admitted to the Barrie Grammar School on the condition that they would not study the manly classes.
However, in 1871, coeducation was established.
This was also the year that the name Barrie Grammar School was changed to Barrie High School. In 1879, expanding enrollment necessitated a new school building on the Blake Street site. By 1880, Barrie High School had more than 60 male classical pupils and more than 4 teachers, and therefore met the criteria to be named Barrie Collegiate Institute.
By 1911, it became evident that the school would once again need to be enlarged.
After much controversy, it was finally decided that the Blake Street School would be renovated and enlarged. This work was completed between 1913 and 1914. A fire destroyed the Blake Street Barrie Collegiate Institute. All school documents and records were lost.
As a result of the fire, the town of Barrie was forced to decide upon a location for the new school.
Electors chose the present site, which at the time was part of the agricultural park. In order to make room for the new school, a skating rink was moved to the site of the Barrie Arena, that is now the site of the Barrie Fire Hall.
Construction on the new school lasted from 1917 through to 1919.
During this time, school was held above the downtown stores. The new building contained 9 classrooms, 2 science laboratories, 2 commercial rooms, a large auditorium, and a gymnasium. The school was designed so that extra rooms could be easily added. On April 28, 1919, students and staff occupied the first building at the present site. The school was enlarged further in 1929 by the addition of a commercial wing. The West Wing, the new library, and the study room were added in 1952. The W.A. Fisher Auditorium, the vocational wing, and the present auditorium were built in 1963. The last major renovation and addition was completed in 1973, replacing the 1918-1919 structure.
Well, if you graduated Central, you may not recognize my shoes, but you might recognize where they are. This is the infamous place where the graduating class of every year would come, and we'd sit and we'd gather around here and have our graduating picture taken right in front of good old Barrie Central Collegiate.
As you come in the front doors here at Barrie Central, you are greeted by a lovely mask created by Hondu Vera in cooperation with the Barrie Central Tech Department.
So in these halls, we have the office just down there if you ever need a late slip if you're late. But we're going to go this way towards the science hall. In this hallway, we have murals of the head boy and head girl, top of every year, dating back to the 1950s. We have a picture here from the class of 1967. These are all the students and teachers here. I like looking back at it to see the fashion choices back then. So in this hall, we have science, mainly chemistry and physics. It's really cool. My locker's right across from my physics class and my calculus class. So if I ever forget my book, I can just go right across the hall. And I don't interrupt. The science office, where I've got help quite a few times. This is math and physics and calculus. I'm in calculus right now, but I took physics. And Mr. Fowler is the only person that got me through. And this is my wonderful locker, 1698. It's a little bit messy. So this is the chemistry door. You can see there are actually a couple paint chips For a Spirit Week at Central, we had to decorate our door in the Christmas fashion. So we took paint and we painted a giant Christmas tree on there, and every student would have a handprint to make up part of the tree. Then we drew ornaments on here. We thought we would be able to leave it for the year, but sadly not. And in fact, on this door, you might not be able to see it, but there was glow-in-the-dark paint where all the students in our chemistry class wrote our names on this door here. We've had quite a few explosions in chemistry, some of them on purpose, some of them not. But the pumpkin carving contest was probably one of my favorites. We carved out a giant phoenix in our pumpkin, and with a mix of different chemicals in it, we created a green foam that came out of the phoenix, but our amounts were a little bit wrong, our quantities, so it ended up bursting the top off as well. We ended up winning second place for it, which was awesome. We lost the history.
So when you come in from the main entrance, we have this other area. Right over here we have the courtyard where we have grad barbecues and coffee houses and whatnot.
Welcome to the BCC Courtyard. This is a place for students to come out, enjoy their lunch, have a nice break in the shade, or even put on special events on the makeshift W.A. Fisher Auditorium stage. And you'll also find some original brickwork and cornerstones from 1951 and 1963.
Over here's our trophy display case, and we have the big awards like Head Girl, Head Boy, the Grandy Trophy, and athletics, drama awards, anything you can think of. Okay, and here we have the office, but I'll let Travis tell you more about that.
You know, every morning at Central started the same. Good morning, Central. Would you please stop what you're doing and stand where you are for the playing of our national anthem? Now, you may not have known where that voice came from, but we're going behind the scenes today and showing you. This is it. This is the announcement room, and it was on this microphone that many of us, including yours truly, would welcome students every morning to Central. This is where the magic happened.
And as we walk further down the hall, we see our guidance office. And this is where students come for all kinds of help, whether it's timetable changes, help with university, or whatnot. A memory that I have here is that I can always come down and talk to somebody about what's going on and what help I can get and how I can organize myself and how I can do the best at school.
From the office, we come into what we call the language/tech department hallway. And what's really cool is you'll see a lot of students kind of sit together and eat lunch here. What's really cool is the board. It shows kind of what people have done in the past during the different seasons for the French department. So right across the hall is this mural, and it's done by the classics department, and it was dedicated to Miss Gillies, who is our Latin/classics club teacher. She's really cool. So it's just to show kind of the difference with Zeus and all the gods, and it even goes down to Hades. You don't have a lot of Latin/classics clubs here at other schools, so it's something we're proud of. The next classes that we have is we have a French/Italian/Latin class, and we also have a drafting room, which is pretty cool. We have tons of tables, and it's one of my favorite rooms because I got to do it last semester. And right here is where a lot of the grade 10s will sit and eat lunch together. And then we have another Latin/Italian/French class. And we're lucky to have Italian here. And then we have a woodworking class, which is really cool because they're fun to do and you can get your hands dirty. So the next classroom we have is our Native Studies classroom, and it's really cool the designs that were done on here. They were done by students. And then the next classroom we have is our media arts class. They study photography, and that's where they make our yearbook, and they really work on understanding and developing their skills there. It's our metal shop, which I have been lucky to actually do, and you can meet Mr. Banks, who's an awesome teacher in there. And then we have our auto shop, which is an awesome room too. A lot of teachers will lose their cars because they've been stolen to be used here, which is awesome. So this is a pretty cool hallway. It has everything from auto body to arts and media to Latin French, and it's had past and present team athletes run through this hallway to the field.
On the way out to the famous Red Story Field here at Barrie Central, you will find BCC's famous bucket list. And along with the bucket list, you'll find the 150th celebration mural celebrating the amazing and rich tradition of sports here at Barrie Central.
almost there. We're in the dungeon here at Central, and we're going to show you behind one of the most coveted doors here. This is the music library door, and most students never had the privilege of being in this room unless you were a music librarian. But this is the spot where all the band pieces were filed. So this is where all the music was kept. We even have a piano down here if you feel like jamming out late one night. But this is it. This is an interesting spot at Central most people don't know about. This is the music library.
Hello, and welcome to what is known as the gym hall. There are several things that go on in this hall. There's the gym, the cafeteria, and one of our special courses, the Latin. We have accomplished quite a lot with our Latin group. They have gone on to win quite a few things. So coming up is the bio room, and this is their billboard. Currently, they're what is organic. This is one of the entrances to the small gym, and as you can see right here, we have a gender-neutral bathroom. Okay, and this is our big gym, the most famous gym. This is a look inside. All right, and here is portrayed all the wins that we have had at Barrie Central. They're all hanging in the gym currently. Here, coming up to the fitness center. Anybody can work out in there. And then here we have a board of all the national and provincial rugby honor roll boys. Good job. And this is a shortcut to the music hall. So here's the mural for Arts Council. Here they show a brick for Coffee House, which is what we have every year. And then a beautiful portrait of Les Miserables, which is one of the plays we did in '04. This is where all the students will line up for their food in the caf, and there's newly renovated to lime green paint.
We're here in the Barrie Central cafeteria. One of the things that I remember about the cafeteria, favorite was always fries, cookies, and chocolate milk. Doesn't that sound like a great balanced diet? But hey, where else could you get that much food for $1.75? So another spot we weren't often allowed in is the teacher's lounge in the cafeteria. Let's take you in and show you what it looks like right through here. Well, things have changed. It looks like it's used as a storage room for the band department, but at one time, as you can tell with the cafeteria serving area, this was the spot where all the faculty would eat their dinner and their lunch.
Behind me is a collection of brick paintings, which was a fundraiser for various charities. So many memories. Here on this wall is a bunch of photos of past Centralites who used to be in band. This hall is the heart of Barrie Central. Everybody walks through this hall at one point or another, but it is mainly home to the athletes.
Okay, so this is the music hall. You might call it the drama hall if you're a drama student like I am, but it's probably most notable for its piano key lockers and all of the music photos that you see throughout the hallway. This hallway is really special to me because I have literally eaten here every single day since grade 9. I just moved down every single grade I go up. Probably what I like the most about eating here is that you have fantastic music all the time. You're sitting here eating your chips and then you're hearing jazz, and it's great. The vocal room, I have seen Miss Perry teach in here. I've seen Mr. Hilliam teach in here. Very exciting. Next up, we have the drama room. I have taken 3 drama classes here. Mr. Consolo and Miss Weeding teach here, and they're 2 awesome teachers. And then up next is the music room. They literally have every single award they've ever won planted all around the room, and it's really cool. This wall is filled with pictures of trips that the band has taken over the years. I think it's every 2 or 3 years. They take huge and awesome trips to different countries. So they've done Austria, Germany, Italy, and me and my friends love to sit here and point out little funny pictures that we find all the time. There's some really good ones in here. And the hall ends off leading to our auditorium.
The auditorium here, it was given its name, the W.E. Fisher Auditorium, after it was built. I think they were alumni, former band members and so on, including possibly Jack Ramsey, who had been the Director of Education for Simcoe County and one of the first clarinet players in the band. There was a bit of a movement that we should have a name on it, and so the decision was made to name it W.E. Fisher Auditorium, since he had complained long enough and had played a role in finally getting it built.
Welcome to the Barrie Central Hall of Fame. As I walk through fire exit number 3, we are looking at some of our drama students' most successful moments. As you can see, we have done performances such as Grease, West Side Story, Peter Pan, and one of our earliest performances that we can remember is in 1959. So some of the classes that we have in this hall is our very own Mr. Lucas's class. Some know him for his very eco-friendly goals in life. He mostly teaches grade 10 science. We also have the Learning Center here. And as we continue down this hall, we have some of the most famous people who have gone to Central. Now, everybody at Central is famous, to be realistic, but we have our mayor, we have actresses, we have athletes, we even have who have climbed Mount Everest, and our oldest, Bobby Rosenfield. And as we continue down the hall, we have an entrance to our smallest gymnasium, and we also have a mural over here of Barrie Central's Athletic Association, a lot of handprints. We also have a breakfast club here at Barrie Central.
So there were a lot of places that as a guy we weren't allowed to go when we were at Central, and we thought we'd give you an inside look into what they are. This isn't one of them, but down here is another. So this is it. We're going to show you behind the curtain. We're going to take you into the faculty lounge. Come on in. Oh my goodness, incredible, exciting things happening here. Look how full this place is not. But nothing says excitement like a bunch of tweed sofa pieces, not to mention a kitchen, a photocopier. That's exciting photocopier. This is it, the faculty lounge. Now you've seen the other side.
We have the cast of our most recent performance, Our Town. That was a great success for our school. We also have a few awards here for the Sears. We have reached the Hall of Fame for our athletes. So these are all our recorded Senior Athlete of the Year awards. We also have an entrance to one of our music rooms, Department of Huff Puff and Paradiddle, of course. So congratulations, Barrie Central. We have many wonderful students here who have made it to our Hall of Fame. Not only them, but also you are famous as well.
Okay, welcome to Central's Social Sciences hallway. This is one of Central's most popular murals. We call it the Enchanted Forest. Central's known for their art.
Yeah, so because Central's known for their arts program, you'll notice throughout the school that there are a lot of murals. However, we believe that this is probably one of the best ones that showcases Central's art talent. So you'll notice on the left is the food and nutrition classroom. It's always smelling good on Fridays as they're always making fresh food. Probably my favorite classroom to visit.
Next we have Miss Campbell's social sciences room.
On the right here we have the law classroom. So for our future pillars of society, they'll be taking that class with excellent teachers as always. And through this door over here is the balcony that goes and overlooks the gym, and Travis has more on that.
Come on through. Great thing about this balcony is it gave you a bird's eye view of all the action happening in the gym. And of course, if you're part of the Spirit Band, this is where you cheered on your teammates, right here, gym balcony, Central.
Thanks, Travis. Most of these lockers are usually filled by grade 9s and 10s, and this hallway is mostly the junior kind of hangout spot.
As you can see behind us over there's usually some people that are hanging out over lunches. Usually kids like to sit in this hallway and just kind of hang out here. So it's become kind of like Central's hangout spot for the juniors. And I think that just about concludes the tour for the Languages and Social Sciences hallway.
Oh, nope. This is a mural that was created by Wayne Rogers that represents hallway after hallway.
So this is the English, Geography, and Art hallway. In this classroom, I did my grade 12 English and my literature studies with Miss Fay. It was in 2012, and during the Winter Olympics, the gold medal hockey game was playing during our English class. So instead of everyone just skipping class, we all came and we all projected the gold medal hockey game on the board. And the classroom next door was watching it, and classrooms in the whole school were watching it. And the projector next door was about 5 seconds ahead of us. So, you know, we would hear them cheer and we'd know that something exciting was about to happen. And, you know, we were a little bit ahead of the class downstairs, and you could hear cheering all over the school if you were walking around in the hallways, and it was a really cool day. This up here is the geography offices with Mr. LaHaye and Mr. Forsyth. I had my civics and careers class in here. I did travel and tourism, and I did world issues. And Mr. LaHaye and Mr. Forsyth were really funny teachers. They did every year for the Christmas assembly, they would film different funny videos. And I remember one year Mr. LaHaye dressed up in the big Phoenix costume, and Mr. Forsyth was chasing him down this hallway. And they did like half of their videos were in this hallway, you know. They've been slammed into these lockers and everything a bunch of times. This is an environmental mural by a student, Sarah Robinson, and she painted it to sort of highlight the importance of properly disposing of our waste. This is the art classroom. The ceiling panels have all been painted by students over the years. This is done by a student. It's an interpretation of Picasso, but it's done in the school colors, central colors. And over here this is the display case for the art class. The class will have a project, and every student will have some piece of art represented in this display case. Changes every once in a while throughout the year. This is the school co-op board, where it shows a bunch of Central students and the different sort of co-ops that they did and the different sort of experiences they had. Over here in the corner, these are the co-op offices. If you have a co-op class, then obviously you're not in school throughout the day, but any assignments you have to hand in, any check-ins, any questions about your co-ops, this is where the students come. Some of my favorite classes were in this hallway. I loved every class I ever had in here. Especially literature studies. I won, when I graduated, the award for proficiency in literature studies, and it really made me realize that that was a passion of mine. And so I'm actually going to post-secondary to Western University to study literature studies.
So we like to think that most of the time when we were in class we were looking at our textbook, looking at a teacher, looking at a girl we may like. However, reality was we were really just looking at one thing, that. Now, funds have fallen a little short. We don't have the cash to mark seconds anymore here, but we still mark hours and minutes, and you probably recognize what that clock looks like, because if you're anyone like anyone, you were probably staring at it waiting for class to end.
So this hall is mainly known as the math hall. We do have a couple of computer labs throughout, but there are only two. The rest of the rooms are all math halls. Which is interesting actually is that most of the math teachers are also coaches or gym teachers, so you see an interesting mix in the halls during periods and usually during lunches. This is actually a quieter time right now. It used to be fairly busy in here with kids doing math along the halls, eating their lunch, but last year we changed it so you can't eat, strictly speaking, upstairs, so that's why it's very quiet. And the math help actually goes along throughout the semester, which helps kids that are especially behind, but they amp it up definitely throughout when it gets closer to exam period, which it is right now. So we'll probably see a few students in rooms getting helped by teachers, and sometimes they even get helped in the library depending on where they're more comfortable. So this room actually was my first ever class here in grade 9, Barrie Central, 2012. I remember being very nervous outside of this room, thinking, what have I gotten myself into? Should I be doing this kind of math? Who am I going to meet? Everything that goes through somebody's head during their first ever class. This is where I've met a couple of great friends. I had great experiences in there. And it was a really good start off for my Central career. So this hall is our history and politics class. We only have two rooms actually. They both do history, they both do politics. It really helps students learn what's happened in our past nationally and internationally and how we've gotten to this point. This room actually, right now, they're setting up for a politics seminar. So what they've been doing is they've been choosing a country and then they talk about the politics, the government, the history of that country. Right now, actually, it's the last seminar and they're talking about Costa Rica. And what they try to do is they try to bring life to the information that they're given so it's not so drawn out. They bring in food, they decorate the room. And now we're in the library, which is usually the hub where people meet. This is where classes usually have presentations by their teachers, or they need to learn information from the librarians. Here is usually the quieter study area, right over here. And then we have the computer labs where classes come to work on stuff when they can't get into the tech rooms. And here are the emergency doors, and Travis will have more about that.
Well, one of the things we know that if you are new at Central, especially if you're a grade 9, you probably didn't know that there's an alarm that goes off when you leave the library. So often people would come to the library and you'd know you're a 9er if you pulled one of these.
And now we're going up to the second half of the library, which is usually the quieter study area for those who need it, because some people do have trouble with working downstairs because there is a lot of social life that happens. Now I'm going to try to be a bit quieter because people are working. And here is the conference room. Clubs will meet in there sometimes. Other times there'll be classes having informal discussions, prepping for different projects. And yep, this is the entire study area, quiet study area. People are quietly working in the back especially. Then we have Mr. O'Brien, he kind of oversees the area. And then he has student help just over in that room over there. And the library actually for me is usually where I like to spend most of my time with my friends. Usually we either sit under the stairs right there, we choose a table, but this is where we spent our time for the last couple of years. I'm actually gonna go and sit with them now. So yeah, this is where we usually hang out.
On behalf of all the former administrators of Barrie Central Collegiate, I thank you for your contributions to the school, the community, and to the lives of others.
The school you remember is no longer here, but the memories are still alive. Remember that you were a part of something that was special to so many people.
As you reflect upon your time here, I hope you think fondly of a place where you learn to see the world a little differently. Remember, smile because it happened.